2000, each and every one of you. I hope it was a safe and happy new year. Downtown Cleveland all set for the new century. Cavaliers looking to, as Matt and I just talked about, continue, with the exception of the last 3 home losses. Has been a pretty productive start here at home, going 10 up and 7 down for Randy Whitman. Randy in his first year, of course, after spending 7 years as an NBA assistant in Dallas, Indiana, in the last 5 with Flip Saunders in Minneapolis with the T-Wolves. And Rick Adelman, 10th season. Got his 400th career win, Matty, just before the beginning of the year against the Boston Celtics. This guy, a veteran, he's a survivor, a lifer as an NBA head coach.
Well, what was fortunate for Rick Adelman was the fact that he was with the Portland Trailblazers when they were a very good basketball team, getting to the finals on a couple occasions. So he certainly chalked up a lot of wins there. Not so many in Golden State, where he spent a couple of years. But it looks like this Sacramento Kings team is going to be capable of winning in the high 40s, maybe 50 games a year. They're right on the threshold there. Not as good as the top 4 in the West, that being the Los Angeles Lakers, San Antonio Spurs, Portland Trailblazers, and Utah Jazz. But they are in that next group with Phoenix and Seattle.
They average 105.5 points per night. That is the most productive in the NBA. They led the NBA last year at better than 100 points per game. Settle back and enjoy it as we get to the hoop on Fox Sports Net. Bruce Alexander, Hank Armstrong, Joe DeRosa all set to officiate. And we're on go here at the Gun. And Bob Sura is quickly in a hurry. Cavaliers have been off to excellent first quarter starts. Still like to keep it rolling tonight. Revin Knight's going to give Lamont Murray a face-up look. Murray went back rim with the opening jumper of the night into the hands of Vlade Divac.
Now, this is not a good defensive team, the Sacramento Kings. However, Vlade Divac and Chris Webber are capable of blocking shots.
Williamson got inside, got his own putback, and he'll roll it home. Corliss Williamson, who averages 11 points per game and shoots 48% on the board early.
He's a meat and potatoes kind of guy, very solid, very basic, which is kind of a little bit different for the rest of this particular ball club. He seems to like to do everything with a flair.
Chris Webber had a strip away on Sean Kemp. Cavaliers got out to, as we said, another very solid first quarter beginning last night in Boston. Cavaliers many times this year have shot better than 60% in opening quarters. Lazy pass, Lamont Murray stripped away by Vlade Divac. Jason Williams went glass, and Divac will clean it up. He can't finish it off. Chris Webber to try to run it down. Last touch off Webber, and will go the Cavaliers' way.
Of course, everybody figures the Sacramento Kings, because they score so many points, are a good running team, and they are, especially because they throw long passes. Jason Williams excellent on the break. However, on the road, they do not run quite as much as they do at home. They're a much poorer defensive team on the road than they are at home.
This is Mark Bryant going baseline. Found Lamont Murray. Murray's going to tee up a triple that goes. Lamont Murray on the year at 39% from home run range, and gets the Cavaliers on the board quickly. Jason Williams. Chris Webber not adverse to shooting the 3 either. Lamont Murray's got a strip away, and Revin Knight will save. Revin taking a spill over in that first row, so Murray's going to cross the timeline. Bob Sura to hoist a triple that drops. Hey, Matty, Cavaliers #1 in the NBA, and Murray and Sura showing everybody why.
And also Wes Burson coming off the bench, helping that 3-point field goal percentage. Usually when you shoot that ball, 3 that well, you're going to win more than your fair share of games. It's not been the case for the Cavs, however, over the last 10.
Chris Webber misfiring off glass. Bob Sura had a run out, but one of Matt Gucas's favorites, his former big guard for the Orlando Magic. You have a chance to chat with Nick Anderson?
I have not, and again, I probably have too much to say to Nick at this point that he doesn't want to hear. He is really struggling with his game. We'll talk about it more during the ball game.
Bob Sura to measure another 3 that's right there. I like that, Matty. Lamont Murray waits for Sura to just clear up top near the arc and found him off the inbound.
On many occasions, Lamont Murray has had problems with inbound passes. He's 1 for 2 tonight.
Well, Mark Bryant is going to get whistled for a push, and that'll come on Vlade Divac. So his front line now, Divac, Williamson, Webber. A little bit of everything. They'll mix and match, and they all obviously can bring different aspects of the game that'll give you trouble.
And Vlade Divac, Chris Webber, very comfortable at going out on the perimeter, which gives a lot of openings to Corliss Williamson. And I'm a little surprised at Nick Anderson not taking advantage of that.
On the repost to Divac with a jump hook that back-rimmed over the top of Kemp into Sean's hands. Cavaliers by 7, and with it they have tripled 3 times here in the opening minutes. Brevin Knight, that dotted line jumper, rattled and fell.
And Brevin Knight did go for backboard. That's a tough little shot, that little in-between 7-8 footer. And many times, even if you are head on, it's best to use the backboard. We're marching for error, and that's exactly what happened for Brevin there, as he got the roll.
Well, you can get mesmerized watching Jason Williams. He's going to miss everything with that long 3, but Anderson stuck inside. This is Chris Webber. That rattled. Sura and Bryant left it for Nick Anderson.
Well, this team will take a lot of bad shots, and Chris Webber very comfortable out on the perimeter launching jump shots. We saw Jason Williams put up that air ball. He's shooting 28% from beyond the arc, and he will not stop shooting.
That's a prerequisite if you're on the Sacramento Kings. Sean Kemp to raise up, and he'll rip his first jumper of the night. Sean hit Boston with a 23.9 rebound performance last night. Cavaliers out to another solid beginning. Webber backing down Kemp. So tough down there. Plus 1 more coming from the line. Got a bump from Sean Kemp. That's his first.
This is the closest thing you could call to a defined move by Chris Webber. He has really never developed a low post game. That's about it. 1 or 2 dribbles into the lane and taking a jump hook. He's just got a world of talent. He can do so many things very well. Passing is probably the thing he does the best. He's just an instinctive good passer, but has never developed that low post game where he can draw double teams and then become a passer for his teammates to get a good shot.
Cavaliers have hit 5 straight field goal attempts after missing their first couple. Lamont Murray has popped out and going to lift it over Corliss Williamson. Front rim with a jumper into the hands of Chris Webber. Webber at 6'10". Will bring the basketball up the floor. Carried it twice. That's Jason Williams going into his bag of acrobatics, reversing on the baseline.
He's so good with either hand on the block here on Nick Anderson, as he's been so far brutalized by Bob Sura with the 3-pointers. But Jason Williams able to drive in there. He's so good with his either hand and a hard dribble. He's got a very hard dribble. Consequently, the ball comes up into his hand so quickly that he's able to control the ball so well.
A lot of flash and dash to his game. Bob Sura thought about it to Sean Kemp and back out of there. Now he'll lift another 3. Divac kept Mark Bryant off the offensive glass. 3 boards for Vlade. Chris Webber inside. Chris Webber to pound it down.
That was an excellent pass by Jason Williams. Just an alley-ooper, just threw it high in the air, letting Webber beat the smaller Sura to the ball.
A flop from Vlade Divac. Sean Kemp says he'll have none of that. He drops it easily home as Divac went to the deck. Williams crossing over, and Brevin Knight is going to get whistled for a reach-in foul. Well, that'll be the whistle on Brevin is first.
This is what you see so often with the Kansas City Kings, Sacramento Kings. Jason Williams just plays at his own speed, and he doesn't normally get Williamson or Nick Anderson to run with him. And many times those guys tire and they lag their way into the front court, but doesn't stop Jason Williams from doing what he wants to do.
Nick Anderson, a veteran out of Illinois, trying to back down. Lamont Murray stepped in the passing lane, and then Murray got tripped by Corliss Williamson. Lamont Murray with his second steal here in the early going. That's a second team foul, first on Williamson.
You can see Nick fighting himself right now. He just has no confidence in anything but launching 3-pointers, and he's not shooting them well. Just abysmal from the line. He's only taken 13 free throws all season long. He doesn't want to go in there and get fouled. So his game is in total disarray.
On that left block, this is Sean Kemp with a step through, and Kemp will deliver. Not a lot of resistance from Chris Webber.
Chris Webber is not that poor a defensive player as he showed there. He doesn't want to get any fouls.
Bombs away from Jason Williams as he splashes a long 3. But Jason only a 28%er from home run range.
Remember that air ball a couple minutes ago? That really discouraged him.
Mark Bryant from the baseline. Mark Bryant will lace the jumper. Mark Bryant, I told him last night, pro's pro, knows how to play the game, man.
Yeah, solid. Just gives you the same kind of effort just about every night, same kind of stats.
Chris Webber has dropped the triple, and Chris Webber has a 10-point beginning through the first 6 minutes of this quarter.
He's actually their best three-point shooter percentage-wise. He's now 8 for 16 on the year.
Sean Kemp got doubled on by Divac and Webber. Shot clock now comes to 10. Sura slashing to the hole. Bobby got it up on the glass. Divac stripped it away. Numbers run, Sacramento. That's Brevin Knight on the personal foul as Jason Williams wanted to go to the hoop. As you would expect, the flurry of activity here to start this one out. And Chris Webber, yeah, he'll take that triple. He's got 10. Cavaliers lead it by a deuce. Williams to get back into it. Webber with a 10-point first quarter. Matt, we're talking about C. Webb as the NBA Player of the Week, and you said it, stuff in a stat sheet. Wow, shooting, he shoots 50% on the year, and through this run of averaging close to 30 points per game, almost 55%.
Well, he's maturing as a player and as a leader because he doesn't have to be the leader on this team. Vlade Divac has really become the emotional leader of the ball club. You got a good floor general in Jason Williams. You got a terrific bench that seems to come through for them every night. So Chris Webber can lead by example and lead by the production that he can give a team on a consistent basis.
We are tied at 19 apiece. This is Kemp on the block. Sean against Chris Webber. Webber rejected him. Kemp got it back. Trying to find Lamont Murray inside. Shot clock is at 5. Sura found Murray. Lamont with a huge emphatic dunk.
Against this Sacramento King defense, you can get half penetration or penetration all the way to the rim just about every offensive possession and then either draw a defender or find an open man, as Sura did there for Lamont Murray.
Corliss Williamson trying to back down on Murray, spun inside, and that's a travel on Williamson. Take away the hoop. Lamont Murray threw down 2 of these huge dunks last night in the early going as he went 6 for 6 for 14 points in Boston.
Yeah, he has sneaky extension. You think he's a little bit too far away from the basket. Now that wasn't so much extension there. He was on all over that thing.
Lamont Murray with a quick two-handed punch, cleaning up Bob Sura's reverse. Williams got caught in the air and found Divac. Nick Anderson to unload a 3. He's going to come up wide left, and the struggles continue for Slick Nick. Murray flying to the hole. Oh, Lamont Murray captivating the gun here in the opening quarter.
3 straight slammers by Lamont Murray, all a little bit different, but all crowd-pleasing to be sure.
Webber with a step-back jumper that's right there. Chris Webber with a dozen. Well, this is nothing but push it up for both clubs. Sura to triple, wing it. Now making it 2 as Bobby had a foot on the arc. Bob Sura, as is his want, with an 8-point first quarter. Webber to get Sean Kemp to play him. Not this time. Williamson to run it down. C. Webb with a no-look to Divac for the quick deuce.
That's what Webber can do so well. That's why it almost seems like a wasted possession for him to take one dribble, settle for a long jump shot. He can just do so many more things for himself and for the team.
Sean Kemp going to give Brevin Knight an opportunity. Knight the lift, back heel with it. Kemp slapped it away from Webber. Sura to triple. Bob Sura to bury another 3.
Cavaliers just having their way with Sacramento, who, as we said from the top, not a very good defensive team, and they're showing you why.
The Cavaliers 4 of 5 from home run range. Bob Sura's tripled 3 times. Good look from Jason Williams. Left hand for Nick Anderson that fell.
A rare shot attempt for Nick Anderson inside the 3-point arc, but Bob Sura, yeah, he's not even trying to play offense. I'll go try to help, but Anderson burned him on that occasion.
Sean Kemp had it slapped away. Cavs basketball. When we come back, you must feel entertained here in the first 9 minutes plus. Showtime from everybody in both uniforms. Cavaliers by 5. Continue to come in the flow of what the Cavaliers are trying to do. Bob Sura to turn the corner. Sean Kemp will tee it up and knock it down.
Well, the Sacramento defense has to compress so much because they can't guard anybody off the dribble that it's leaving wide open jump shots. And then when they do show up too high out, that's when you get those dunk opportunities.
Lonnie Divac lost the basketball. Cavaliers have a 4-on-1 run. Sean Kemp to rock the rim. Cavs getting anything they want, Matt.
Now, I did mention that the Sacramento Kings have a very good bench that usually bails them out, but Rick Adelman trying to show a lot of patience here with his starters, giving them a chance to try to do something good before he starts to take them out.
Nick Anderson will splash a three. Got to feel good at Nick because, as we said, only 30% from three-point range this year, 35% from the floor. Cavalier lead is 6. Andre Miller on the floor now. He's replaced Brevin Knight. Cedric Henderson is going to get up, and that's going to be from Lamont Murray. 45, Cedric Henderson. Lamont Murray will hear it from the Cavalier crowd as he sits down with his very thunderous 9-point beginning tonight. So it's Andre Miller with Bob Sura, Sean Kemp, Andrew DeClerc also on the floor, and Ced Henderson. Sean Kemp got a piece of the support underneath the glass, and that's a turnover as he tried to find Andrew DeClerc.
I don't know why Sean Kemp, he had his back to the basket to Chris Webber defending him, and he put the ball on the floor with his back to the basket when he really didn't have to. He could just turn, face up, square up, and now really get Chris Webber back on his heels.
Cavaliers have hit 4 threes, and they've also had 4 throwdown dunks, 3 of them from Lamont Murray here in the opening quarter. Corliss Williamson trying to use his strength. That's going to be a blocking foul on Cedric Henderson. So Henderson, Matty, not as strong and sturdy as Lamont Murray and Corliss Williamson went to work on it.
Well, Corliss Williamson, a very tough, put-together body, used to be a lot bulkier coming out of college. He has trimmed down, nevertheless still very strong. Cavs over the limit and into the penalty. However, on that possession, if I were Jason Williams or Rick Adelman or whatever, you got to go back to Nick Anderson in that situation. He's got a layup, he's got a three-pointer, he's been struggling mightily offensively, and now he's got a little something going. You got to force feed him. Got to get him to the point where he's going to become a confident offensive player again.
You see how old coaches are, everybody? They take care of their former players.
I just happen to know him. So I coached him for 4 years. I know his capabilities. I'm not going to say I know how he thinks, but I can appreciate the problems he's going through right now, and I can also appreciate how he can get out of those problems.
Bob Sura is going to jack up another triple that drops. Bob Sura has tripled 4 times here in the opening quarter. Cavaliers by 8. Lonnie Divac with a quick punch as Jason Williams fouled him off a slip screen.
I got blocked out. I couldn't tell if that was a shot or a pass.
It's found him one or the other, huh? Kept thinking about it over Chris Webber. Went back rim with a jumper. Inside a minute left in the opening quarter. Entertaining to say the least. Cavaliers by 6. Williams with a hesitation and threw it right through Corliss Williamson. How difficult is it for an athlete when Jason Williams comes into your system to get used to him and play in concert with him?
Obviously, it's difficult for this team right now because he's averaging close to 4 turnovers a game, which, some of them are unforced on his part. Some of them are players just not ready for his quick passes. But when you're playing with a guy like Jason Williams, you've got to have your hands up and ready in the catch position at all times because he could break your nose.
Bob Sura running off the curl. This is Mark Hendrickson. He'll knock down a baseline jumper. Hey, Bill Blair was telling us he likes the looks of this 6'9" athlete out of Washington State.
They're really going to like the looks if he can knock down that perimeter jump shot off those little pick and slips or pick and pop for those jump shots a la Danny Ferry.
Chris Webber, 12 points in the opening frame. Looking to work Andrew DeClerc. Shot clock at 5. DeClerc got a piece. Jason Williams from Medina.
Medina, Illinois.
Yeah, Lawrence Funderburk with a huge offensive rebound.
Now, there was just 1 second on the shot clock. He had to launch, but that was from deep.
Crossover from Williams, and Joe DeRosa said, "You carried it, young man." Turnover, Sacramento.
Yeah, he did. He knows it. Coach knows it. But the thing with Jason Williams would say, "Hey, I've been doing this about 8 times already tonight, and now you decide to call," which I think the officials think if they called on one guy, they'll call it on another guy before the half is over on Cleveland.
Andre Miller tried to beat the buzzer, and that'll do it. We had a lot of thunderation going on, as well as some very strong three-point marksmanship from Bob Sura. Bobby buried 4 threes in the opening quarter. Jason Williams was in his acrobatics, and Lamont Murray up above the rack. Cavaliers by 8. Cavaliers by 8 at 39-31 with fireworks aplenty. Michael Rega and Matt Gukas at the gun. The bench bunch on the floor right now for Sacramento. Matty, after that 3-second call, why don't we set him? John Barry along with Peja Stojakovic and Lawrence Funderburk, formerly from Ohio State. Everybody here in the Buckeye State knows Lawrence well. And Derek Martin. Chris Webber will stay on the floor. They call it the bench mob in Sacramento, and they have been mob-like in their production.
They've been particularly effective in their home arena, where John Barry is kind of the energy guy. The crowd really has taken a liking to him, and he has played very good basketball. Unfortunately, he missed 9 games with back spasms.
Shot clock at 4. Seth Henderson had to force it, did not draw iron. Derek Martin got a start in Seattle as John Barry throws it away. Migraine headache, huh, for Jason Williams, and Martin responded with 21 points and 7 assists.
Remember Wally Pipp?
You always bring up Wally Pipp. I've just figured that out. Wes Person with a clean look at it, and he'll lace a jumper.
The Cavaliers look like they continue to get any kind of good shot that they want. However, this second unit for the Sacramento Kings is a much better defensive unit. Now, they've got some holes out there. Stojakovic, for example, is not a good defensive player at all.
That's Lawrence Funderburk, long, 6'9", with a left hand that fell as he powered his way to the front of the rim. Wes Person to triple. Went back rim with him. In the hands of Andrew DeClerc. Offensive board, Cavaliers. Andre Miller has picked things up once again. Coming off the bench. This is Cedric Henderson. Cedric starts 0 for 2 in his bench minutes tonight. Derek Martin, a little left-hander, played with the LA Clippers. He's out of UCLA in his 6th NBA season. That's me. Weber felt a trap coming. John Barry, shot clock at 4. Rainbow 3 that didn't fall.
Well, absolutely no movement for Sacramento, and that's the kind of shot that they have to settle for.
Wes Person not able to triple, but Andrew DeClerc's got a putback that goes. First deuce of the night for Andrew. Cavalier lead is 10. Peja Stojakovic left it short. Andre Miller. And it's stripped away by Barry into the hands of a flying Mark Hendrickson, who finished.
Things are going the Cavaliers' way because they're playing good, smart basketball right now, taking advantage of everything the Cavaliers' weaknesses defensively are giving them. They're just outworking and out-hustling.
Chris Webber trying to work with Stojakovic. That's a legal defense on the Cavaliers. We got a timeout on the floor. 6'9" Mark Hendrickson. Minutes starting to expand now for Randy Whitman off the bench. Right place, right spot. Cavs by 12. Joined the ball club. Actually was on the roster for the Washington appearance here at the Gun last week. And as we said, Matty has earned some minutes now in Randy Whitman's rotation. Stojakovic trying to rock Seth Henderson baseline. His jumper a little bit shy, but Lawrence Funderburk's got an offensive board. This is Derek Martin. He bricked a 3. Andre Miller up tempo. Andre Miller fly into the hole. Plus one more coming from the line on the foul from Derek Martin.
Well, on some of the poorer shots of the Sacramento Kings, as the one put up by Derek Martin, a brick hard off the glass, almost starting the fast break with the rebound coming off so hard. And the Kings very slow in getting back on defense, and this is duck soup for the Cavaliers. They love to get out and run early at home.
That has been evident all year long. Cavaliers 4 of 8 here in the second. Stolen away, Seth Henderson. The solo and the throwdown from Cedric.
Now the young ball boy with the mop there actually played a little better defense than the Kings. He made Cedric slow up just a little bit, which was more than the Kings have been able to do.
Oh, coach, you're scorching that Sacramento bench bunch here. Cavaliers have opened the lead to 17. Peja Stojakovic not able to deliver the three. And it's going to be Lawrence Funderburk for going over the back as we look at Seth Henderson in flight.
John Barry, normally pretty sharp with his passes there, telegraphed that one all the way. Cedric Henderson saw it coming. Jumped right in the passing lane for an easy one.
Cavaliers at the half-century mark point-wise, and there's 8 minutes and 15 seconds left in this second quarter. Person running off a curl. Wes Person not able to deliver that jumper. Derek Martin tried to bounce it through traffic, never got there. Cavaliers with Andre Miller. Wes Person spotted up. Wes Person left it short.
2 jump shots in a row for the Cavaliers with nobody on the offensive glass.
Derek Martin doubled up on by Andre Miller and Mark Hendrickson. And threw it way over the head of John Barry. That'll be a timeline violation, and they'll give it back to the Cavaliers.
Now this is so far, and again, we're early in this game.
John Barry hurled the basketball 94 feet from one end to the other. Crowd was hoping that maybe Joe DeRosa would see fit to give Barry a technical. But DeRosa explaining to Randy Whitman, I'm going to go delay a game.
Yeah, that's the correct call in that situation. Getting back to the Kings for a second, this is the way they often play on the road. But generally, when they've been on the road for a while, this is their first game of the new year. So normally they should be a lot sharper and crisper, but they have not been. But they can get hot and hurt.
Andrew DeClerc inside, got rejected by Scott Pollard out of Kansas, who's replaced Chris Webber. It's a blocking foul on Seth Henderson as he tried to impede Peja Stojakovic. The name is the full name is Predrag, Matty, but Peja is the nickname.
And he is a very dangerous perimeter shooter beyond the arc, but you try to force him to put the ball on the floor, as Cedric did, and trying to guess right on taking the charge.
It's going to be Mark Hendrickson for holding Lawrence Funderburk down on the block. It's first on Hendrickson. It's second on the Cavaliers.
Well, Mark just new to the league this year, not familiar with the new rules right now, where you're not allowed to dislodge that offensive player. And when you're playing a tough cookie inside like Funderburk, you got to try to push him out as far as you can.
Funderburk showing and then tried to go, but Hendrickson sent him off. This is John Barry to raise. Heard the shot clock go off. Pollard kept it alive. Stojakovic wanted to dump inside, and it slapped right back to him. Derek Martin crossing over. Has flipped it up for Funderburk. Pollard on a stick back, and he got hammered. And Sacramento, a lot of opportunities at the offensive end. Timeout on the floor. 6:42 left in quarter number 2. Cavaliers big by 17 on Fox Sports Net. Against Western Conference ball clubs. And the Cavaliers, after losing the last 3 at home before the win over Washington to Orlando and Minnesota and New Jersey, would like to get back off the schneid at home.
And I'd say we're at the critical stage of the season with those 3 home games coming up, that almost must-win situations, having that long road trip looming ahead, which is going to be very, very difficult in the middle of the month.
Oh, you're right. We'll talk a little bit more about that as the night progresses. Mark Bryant back on the floor running the basketball against Lawrence Funderburk. Bryant's going to rock Funderburk and left a short jumper on the front of that rim. It's John Barry, Peja Stojakovic, Derek Martin, Scott Pollard, Lawrence Funderburk. The bench mob on the floor for Sacramento. Pollard fading away. And had it rattle out. Pollard was running back down the floor, thought he had it in the hole. Seth Henderson to lift it. Andre Miller had an offensive board. I think Derek Martin had Andre Miller all clamped up. Bob Sura to shed the warm-ups. He's going to check back in. So is Lamont Murray off Randy Whitman's bench. That'll be for Cedric Henderson and Wesley Person. Sura and Murray combined for 23 first-quarter points. Sura with 4 threes, and Murray with 3 emphatic throwdown dunks.
You would think all the Cavaliers would be begging Randy Whitman right now to put him in the game, saying, hey, this is like a skeleton drill.
Mark Bryant trying to make the extra pass, had it slapped away. John Barry fade with a rainbow jumper that wouldn't fall.
That's a terrible shot. Get a semi-fast break situation, and that's the best you can do. Not very good.
Andre Miller with a dotted line leaner that falls. In a hurry is Derek Martin. Bob Sura rejected it. Sacramento basketball. Manny, you know, we had accident. It's a terrible shot. I agree with you. But it's a Sacramento shot.
You're right, and that's why
it's in their offense.
Right. That's why they shoot such a poor percentage, and the reason they're able to score so many points and win their share of games and all is they get up so many shots, and playing them in Sacramento is a totally different story. There's just so much energy in that building.
Jason Williams is back. He reverse spin baseline, but misfired on the jumper. It's Andre Miller with Bob Sura, Sean Kemp back, Mark Bryant and Lamont Murray. So the Cavaliers starting unit to save Andre Miller on the floor. Here comes former Cavalier Tyrone Corbin into the fray. Tyrone seems like he has been around for a couple of 3 decades, not quite, but 15th year, Matt, out of DePaul.
And did I see 8 teams he's been with? Something like that?
Yes.
Or 9, I don't know.
And the Cleveland Cavaliers, one of them. Sean Kemp looking to move on Chris Webber. Andre Miller leaning, had it rattle. Lamont Murray with an offensive board, threw it in the hole, but wave it off. Lamont Murray got hit with an offensive foul for using that off arm. Matt, that close underneath the hole, you're going to get hit with that off the offensive board?
Well, again, it's becoming a very easy call for officials. They can see it there, and he did throw out the left arm there. And of course, the reaction of the other team helps the officials make that call as well. And you don't have to stick it out very far for the referees to make it. It's almost as if they're looking for it.
Second on Lamont Murray, so wave away the Murray offensive rebound and stick back. Cavaliers by 17. Webber wants it against Kemp. Chris Webber putting it on the deck. Webber forcing it up, tough and down off the glass.
That was a tough shot against very good, solid defense by Sean Kemp. But Webber's capable of making tough shots. They just have no motion, no movement in their half-court offense.
Mark Bryant over the top of Vlade Divac to ring it up. Mark Bryant's second field goal. He's got 4. Go play Divac down there and play him tough, and I get it out of my mouth. And Mark got whistled for trying to surround Vlade Divac.
Again, and Mark Bryant doesn't like the call, but these are the new rules. You're just not allowed to put up this kind of body contact, even with the big guys below the free throw line and fighting for position.
Right back to Divac on Bryant. Vlade's going to back it out of there. Jason Williams, tremendous look inside, and he found that bounce pass to Tony Delk, who dropped it down.
Rick Adelman has already gone 12 deep now, as he's trying to find anybody that can play well. That was an ooh and ah type of pass from Jason Williams. He's good for about 4 or 5 of those a game.
Yeah, bounce pass extraordinaire. Shot clock at 8. Sura will cross over. Bobby found Lamont Murray, but Lamont could not snatch it and went through his hands and out of bounds. Turnover, Cavaliers.
Too hot to handle, too close when you're only about 8 feet away to throw that hard an aerial pass. Very difficult for Lamont Murray to catch it.
Chris Webber going to go back rim with that jumper. Tony Delk to bring it down. Delk found Webber inside, who reverse powered it home. Chris Webber was 16. Bob Sura fly into the hole. Oh, yeah. And one more coming from the line.
And almost a 1-on-4 situation, which we saw so much of in the first quarter, with the Cavaliers just beating people down the floor. And really, the Kings defense putting up absolutely no resistance whatsoever.
Bobby with a 17-point first half. Sura averages 16 points per night on 45% shooting. And Joe DeRosa just whistled Brevin Knight. Brevin had a hand guiding Jason Williams way out on the floor.
And you would like to put as much hand pressure, body pressure as you can against Jason Williams, because when he has the freedom to just keep his head up, and because of his handle and his ability to see the floor, he can create offense for you. But you're just not allowed to put your hands on people. Now, he'll try to get his team back into the game by launching three-pointers at every opportunity. Just dribble up the floor and take a three. And his teammates don't mind. And he's shooting 28%. I would mind.
He's at 28.
I'm not even on their team, and I mind.
Understood. Williams splits the pair. Mon Murray going to go to Sean Kemp with a low block. This is Brevin Knight with a face-up jumper that didn't go. Murray tried to keep it alive, but Jason Williams came away with it. Chris Webber to go behind his back to Tyrone Corbin. Lonnie Divac. Wouldn't happen. Kemp up big in a crowd. Sura pushing with Brevin Knight. Lamont Murray going to the hoop. And Murray's going to get to the line as he took a shot from Lonnie Divac. Well, Lamont Murray at the free throw line as Brevin Knight engineered that Cavalier break. He had Sura and Murray flying with him. Cavs by 15. Come on back and enjoy the fun of the gun. Sportsnet being brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Fares solo. You have the freedom to go places and do things you never thought possible. Fly Southwest Airlines. Like Southwest Airlines, there's been a lot of flying above the racks at both ends of the gun here tonight. As Lamont Murray misfires on his first. Lamont, not an 80%er from the line, hit 6 straight last night in Boston.
And this first half is flying by, mainly because there haven't been many of these free throws. That's just the third and fourth free throw taken by the Cavaliers. Kings are 7 out of 9 from the line.
Couple of misses for Lamont Murray. Jason Williams firing it off the glass. And Chris Webber went and cleaned it up and spiked it home.
Well, he thought Webber was going to go for the alley-oop. Webber stopped on him, which is something you should never do to a passer, but the pass was perfectly thrown off the backboard.
Bob Sura not able to finish off a baseline reverse, and Divac wants it in the hands of Jason Williams. Williams to raise up and ring up a long three.
He'll do plenty of that, and from distance.
This is just exactly how they get back into games, already.
Yes. Yeah, there's a lot of talent out there. You got Jason Williams, you got Chris Webber, Divac.
Brevin Knight left his jumper short. Lead is down to 10 as we come inside. 2 minutes left here in the opening half. Webber at that free throw line against Sean Kemp. He's going to lift it over the top of Sean and lace it. Chris Webber has 20 in the opening half, and here comes Sacramento. 10-0 Sacramento run. Sean Kemp squaring off on Webber. Threw it away. Wait a minute, Joe DeRosa said Tony Delt got a piece of it, or Chris Webber. Cavaliers will keep it with 10 on the shot clock.
Well, Sean Kemp has been double teamed and able to step through on a number of occasions here. Not a tight enough double team, and officials ruling that one of the Kings got their hand on that ball.
Mark Bryant that drop a jumper from the baseline. Mark has all 3 of his field goals from that very spot on the floor. That ends a Sacramento 10-0 run. Cavaliers by 10 again. A minute and 10 left in this opening half. Chris Webber, 9 of 13 for a 20-point first 24 minutes. Jason Williams tee up a 3 that drops.
An excellent pass out of the double team from Chris Webber, and that's why you wonder why he doesn't post deep as much as possible to create open shots for teammates.
Lamont Murray now being doubled, and Jason Williams got a steal as he stepped in. Williams to raise up. He'll rip another 3. He's feeling it. Jason Williams and the Sacramento Kings will have cut a 17-point lead down to 4.
Now, didn't I say I didn't think he should be taking those threes?
Yeah. Oh, Jason Williams, expressive.
Keep in mind, 28% from downtown. He could care less about what he's shooting from the field. He's only shooting 36% from the field. He's going to shoot it when he feels it, which is just about every time he crosses half court. Now, he also has his head up all the time, looking to make sometimes a too spectacular pass, but he does find his teammates for easy buckets.
He's got 17, and he's put 10 of them in the books here in the second quarter. But Matty, 9 of them on the 3 threes in rapid-fire fashion.
And as a defender, as quick as Brevin Knight is, you can't get up on him because he's got the dribble and the speed and the quickness to get by you, get in the lane, and really give you problems.
16-2 Sacramento run. Brevin Knight wants Sean Kemp in that low left block. Jason Williams helped it. Well, Sean's in no man's land, and Weber took it away. All of a sudden, the Cavaliers have come undone in the half court.
Not too much pounding of the ball, too much holding.
Speaking of holding, shot clock and game clock just about synced up. Jason Williams, the triple, left this one short. Kemp will leak out. Short to the hole to punch it with some emphasis.
Well, that's what happens. Long shots result into long rebounds and easy breakaway lay-ins.
Jason Williams and went back rim. It has been a very explosive first 24 minutes of basketball. The Cavaliers' 17-point lead shrinks to 6. We'll hear from Randy Whitman and more coming up.
Defensive team, but as the game wears on, it becomes more of a half-court tussle.
And also, let's review what you and I spoke of in the open of our show tonight. Trust and confidence that wanes and maybe being indecisive at times. That's all a part of when a team goes into a losing funk.
And that subconscious will play awful tricks on you. There's just no way that the ball club as a unit and as individuals can forget what has happened to them in the late stages of games. You'd like to be able to erase it and knock it out. Almost impossible to do.
See how the Cavaliers start quarter number 3. Chris Weber to deliver a jumper from the baseline. Weber just picking right up. Weber 10 of 14 from the floor. 22 points. The NBA Player of the Week. 31 points and 10 boards in their win over Seattle. Bob Sura, baseline right. Wanted to find Sean Kemp inside with that look-away pass. Weber slapped away.
Right now, Weber with no personal fouls. Now, we saw a couple times in the first half where he just got out of the way, gave up easy shots to avoid getting into any kind of foul trouble. He's got to challenge him. You got to take the ball to him.
Sean Kemp missing the iron on his first jumper in this third quarter. Cavalier lead at 4. Sacramento can cut it a little bit deeper here on this trip. Weber on Kemp with a shot clock at 8. This is Vlade Divac in the hands of Brevin Knight. Sura pushing. Nick Anderson got there to shut him off. Lamont Murray to raise him. Lamont Murray went off the back of the plate. Anderson over Sura. That won't happen.
So far, Sacramento doing a much better job in transition defense, at least getting back and making the Cavaliers set up. And it's more than at least. That's exactly what you want to do.
Brevin Knight will ring it from the baseline as Bob Sura went penetration and then found Knight.
But all 3 of the shots by the Cavaliers in this third quarter have been jump shots. You got to start exploring the interior.
Lamont Murray keeping it away from Corliss Williamson. A nice job defensively. Sura to lift up. Long 3 that rattled out. Brevin Knight is going to get whistled up. Chris Weber absolutely just bought that foul. He just let the basketball go.
He let the ball go, dropped his arms in between Brevin Knight. Brevin, who normally complains vehemently on bad calls, doesn't say anything on this one. I guess he grabbed him a little bit earlier on this one. I think he grabbed him first and then got tangled up, but the initial foul was not called on Brevin Knight.
Jason Williams, the quick trigger of 3. Bob Sura to scrape it off. Cavaliers will push to the offensive end. Brevin Knight with 8 assists in the opening half of the Cavaliers 22. There's your first whistle of the night on Chris Weber.
Well, because the first time somebody's taken the ball towards him in a long time to make him either try to get out of the way or try to defend. And the way the games are being called this year, you can pick up fouls on big guys who sometimes slower to react against quicker people.
Cavaliers by 6. Brevin Knight turning that corner. Off the foot of Brevin Knight. Well, Randy Whitman, you can hear him screaming. He thought Jason Williams slapped down on Brevin.
Yeah, he actually came over the top of the shoulder of Brevin Knight to knock that ball loose.
Lonnie Divac so many times will start up top on that perimeter. Nick Anderson had it slapped away. Is that Knight or Sura? That's Brevin. That's 4.
I think it's probably Sura got in there for the strip. Got a lot of ball. But a rare drive by Nick Anderson towards the goal. Just 4 for 13 from the line, which is hard to believe, except Nick went through this a couple of years ago, where he just rarely went to the free throw line, and when he did, unable to knock him down. He actually has a clause in his old Orlando contract which carries over to here. If he's got to take a certain amount, it's about 3.5, 4 a game, which would be about 240 for the year. He's going to have, well, he got all the rim of that one, and he's got to shoot 66% to reach a couple of pretty handsome bonuses.
Yeah, he rolled it home, so he split the pair. Sean Kemp feeling the double. No look from Brevin Knight to Mark Bryant. See the ball fake from Bryant as Nick Anderson put a saddle on Mark and jumped along for the ride.
Yeah, Randy Whitman wanted Mark to flip that ball towards the basket to get 2 free throws here, but I think Mark Bryant's good-natured way there to keep Nick Anderson, or whoever it was, I'm not sure he knew who it was jumping on his back. Randy said, what was he going to do there? Was he all of a sudden going to become a passer?
Sean Kemp to tee it up, and it rattle on him. Into the hands of Corliss Williams. Cavaliers cooling down a little bit to start this third quarter. Divac turned the corner. Chris Webber showed it on Mark Bryant. Too strong off that glass. Way too strong. 6 board. Sean Kemp. Cavaliers by 5. Bob Sura's pass went to a couple of folks, several young fans in the third row.
Yeah, Bob Sura thought that Lamont Murray was going to keep on going there, but a careless possession.
Nick Anderson will stroke a deep 3. And the Cavalier lead is down to 2. It's 63-61. So we'll take the timeout with Randy Whitman of the Cavaliers. No way. Cavs have to search for some answers again, up by just the deuce. Michael Regai with Matt Gukas here at the gun. Sean Kemp trying to go to work in a crowd. Kemp couldn't get it to fall. Baseline left. Jason Williams, this for the Sacramento lead. Went back rim with it, and Brevin Knight ran it down. Williams and Anderson put a hold on Brevin Knight out here near the timeline.
I think that's the 10 3-point attempt by Jason Williams, and then a smart foul there, flipping Brevin Knight in the open floor to prevent a fast break. Now, the last player I can remember that would just dribble up and launch a 3, who did it effectively and then certainly didn't take 10 a game, was Mark Price. And it really used to worry in trying to defend him. And, you know, he would take it at seemingly just the right time. If that wasn't there, he'd get that little slow bump from Brent Doherty or Hot Rod or Larry Nance to create open floor situations. But, you know, back in the days when Mark Price played, at least you could get up and try to put your hands on some people and control him. It was tough to do it against Mark because he was quick and a good ball handler, but at least he had a fighting chance.
I don't know. I don't want to get you started on defensively trying to play tough and aggressive in this league right now, because that's almost like a misnomer. And Lamont Murray's got an open shot. Lamont a little bit short. Murray didn't want it at first, and then everybody left him, so he took it.
Well, I get the feeling that Randy Whitman during that last timeout said, hey guys, enough with the jump shots. I'm sick of looking at it. Came out of that timeout, went inside to Sean Kemp, but there the C's opened up, an easy one for Chris Webber.
Chris Webber on the float. Chris Webber with 24. Bob Sura with a pass that never got to Sean Kemp. Jason Williams to run it down and save it. The Cavaliers' 17-point lead has expired. We're tied at 63. Lamont Murray trying to overplay Corliss Williamson, and that's 3 on Lamont Murray.
Randy Whitman, he's really, I think he's doubting his team right now, and understandably so, as to the Jekyll Hyde nature of of their attention span and not so much effort. The effort is there, but just unable to be intelligent out on the floor.
Vlade Divac to clean up the miss from Corliss Williamson, but he was standing on the baseline. Cavalier basketball. Cavaliers will come back at it on the offensive end again. Let's see if they get something punched down inside in the paint.
Well, the last time they tried to go inside to Sean Kemp, he didn't protect the passer, didn't come out to meet the ball, consequently turned it over.
Murray going to get his jumper to drop. He thought he got a hit from Corliss Williamson. Lamont Murray with 11. Randy Whitman yelling at Hank Armstrong about it.
And Lamont Murray never shows any change in demeanor or expression. You could tell that he got fouled on that play by the look on his face.
Vlade Divac went inside, and Lamont Murray just rode the back of Corliss Williamson. That's going to be 4 on Lamont. Well, Lamont didn't get the call at the other end, and then he commits a foul on this end.
Corliss Williamson's one of those guys who kind of just picks up the loose change in and around the basket, because invariably Vlade Divac, Chris Webber, they will gravitate towards the perimeter where they are very comfortable in passing from out there and shooting jump shots. Nick Anderson's not going anywhere near the basket, so all kinds of room to operate for Corliss Williamson inside.
Well, the Kings are still not able to grab that lead. Their last lead was at 2-0 as we started tonight, so that's Cedric Henderson now back on the floor to replace Lamont Murray. Bob Sura's pass, boy, that was through a lot of traffic that didn't get through to Sean Kemp. Last touch, Sacramento.
You want players trying to make passes to one another, but you want them to be easy passes.
Sean Kemp left his jumper on the front iron. Bob Sura's going to beat Nick Anderson to it. And Anderson with a shove off on Bob Sura, but you say Sacramento basketball.
I thought Bob Sura was going to buy a foul there, as he seemed to be nudged a little bit by Nick Anderson in the back. Just slightly, but slightly is enough to draw a foul in that situation, since there's no force out. But the problem was Bob Sura never had possession of the ball.
Nick Anderson trying to turn the corner. This for the Sacramento lead that went back rim. Cavaliers have numbers. Knight, Henderson, and Sura. Nick Anderson played Bob Sura out at that three-point arc. Sean Kemp with some power and had it rejected. Go to the left hand and never got it there. Sura penetrated. Mark Bryant. Another possession. Cavaliers. Sura kept it alive. Sura lit on the hoop. 3-on-1 run out. Jason Williams, Corliss Williamson, Sacramento with their first lead since 2-0.
Now that looked like the Sacramento King defense in the first quarter. Nobody getting back quickly enough to make the Kings set up.
Cavaliers are very disheveled right now on the offensive end. Jason Williams. No look pass to Corlin Williamson, who went off glass. And Sacramento has come from 17 down to take a 4-point lead at 69-65. See if Randy Whitman and the Cavs come up with some answers. 5:34 left in the third. Sacramento on top.
It's worse than that. They came out launching jump shots, and they have nothing going. They'll try with a new backcourt, Andre Miller and Wesley Person.
Mark Bryant's pass never got to Sean Kemp. That high handoff from Jason Williams. Chris Webber with a big punch. Chris Webber with 26. He's done it on 12 of 27 from the floor. Sean Kemp got hit with a walk. When it comes undone like this, everybody just searches for answers.
And once again, poor transition defense, although I don't know how you guard people 3 or 4 feet over the rim, because that's where that ball was. But, you know, you got to get your guy.